The year is 2025 and the American auto industry stands at a crossroads. The central question, could Toyota and Honda actually consider leaving the United States? The catalyst is a familiar one, the threat of sweeping new tariffs proposed by former President Trump. Tonight, we cut through the noise to investigate the history, analyze the potential ripple effects, and present the facts. The future of these iconic brands in America hangs in the balance, affecting us all for decades to come. To truly understand the current landscape of tariffs in America, we must first look back at the nation's origins and the pivotal role tariffs have played throughout its history. The story of tariffs is woven into the very fabric of the United States, shaping its economy, politics, and even its identity. Tariffs, which are essentially taxes placed on imported goods, have existed since the birth of the United States. They were among the first tools used by the young government to raise money and assert economic independence from foreign powers. In the early days, customs houses bustled with activity as officials inspected goods arriving from overseas, ensuring that tariffs were collected and the nation's coffers filled. The Tariff Act of 1789 was one of the very first pieces of legislation passed by Congress. Its dual purpose was clear: to generate much-needed revenue for the fledgling government and to protect emerging American industries from being overwhelmed by established European competitors. This act set the tone for decades of economic policy, as the United States sought to balance growth with protection. Throughout the 19th century, tariffs became a central and often divisive issue in American politics. The industrial North, with its growing factories and manufacturing base, favored high tariffs to shield its products from foreign competition. Meanwhile, the agricultural South, which relied on exporting crops and importing manufactured goods, opposed high tariffs, seeing them as a burden. This regional tension over tariffs contributed to the broader conflicts that eventually led to the Civil War. In the 20th century, tariffs continued to shape the nation's fortunes. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, passed during the early days of the Great Depression, was intended to protect American jobs by raising tariffs on thousands of imported goods. However, it had the opposite effect. Other countries retaliated with their own tariffs, global trade collapsed, and the economic crisis deepened, leading to widespread hardship. After World War II, the United States took a leading role in promoting free trade around the world. Through international agreements and organizations, America helped lower tariffs and open markets, ushering in an era of globalization. This shift was seen as a way to foster peace, prosperity, and economic growth, both at home and abroad. As barriers fell, foreign companies like Toyota and Honda began building factories in the United States, creating jobs and offering consumers more choices. The auto industry, once dominated by American brands, became a symbol of this new global economy, with international competition driving innovation and change. Yet even as globalization brought benefits, it also sparked anxiety. Many American workers, especially in industries like auto manufacturing, worried about losing jobs to foreign competition. Protectionist sentiments never truly disappeared. Instead, they simmered beneath the surface, ready to re-emerge whenever economic uncertainty struck. In the 1980s, these concerns led the U.S. government to negotiate export restraints with Japan, limiting the number of cars Japanese automakers could sell in America. This was an attempt to protect domestic jobs and industries, but it also highlighted the complex and often contentious nature of trade policy. Time and again, history has shown a recurring pattern. When domestic industries feel threatened by foreign competition, calls for tariffs and protectionist measures grow louder. Politicians debate, workers protest, and the nation grapples with the challenge of balancing economic growth with the need to protect its own. This long and complicated history sets the stage for today's debate in 2025, as America once again faces tough questions about tariffs, trade, and the future of its economy. When we talk about the history of American trade policy, one peculiar and enduring example stands out: the infamous chicken tax. This targeted tariff has become a symbol of how a single policy decision can ripple through decades, shaping entire industries and consumer choices in ways few could have predicted at the time. In the early 1960s, American chicken producers found a lucrative market in Europe. U.S. chicken exports surged, flooding European markets with affordable poultry. This sudden influx disrupted local farmers and sparked outrage among European governments, who saw their domestic industries threatened by cheap American imports. In response, several European countries imposed tariffs on American chicken, igniting what became known as the Chicken War. The United States, seeking to protect its own interests and retaliate against these new European tariffs, responded with a 25% tariff on imported light trucks. This move was carefully calculated, targeting vehicles like the Volkswagen Type 2 pickup, which was gaining popularity in the U.S. market at the time. Over the next 6 decades, the chicken tax would quietly but profoundly shape the American auto market. By making it prohibitively expensive to import foreign-made pickup trucks, the tariff effectively protected domestic manufacturers from overseas competition, allowing them to dominate the segment. The result was a near monopoly for American automakers like Ford, General Motors, and Dodge. With foreign rivals largely shut out, these companies were able to set the pace for innovation, pricing, and design in the pickup truck market, while Detroit's factories boomed with activity. To get around the tariff, foreign automakers such as Toyota and Honda eventually began building their trucks in the United States. By investing in American factories and hiring local workers, they could avoid the chicken tax and compete in the lucrative U.S. market, but only after making significant investments. The chicken tax stands as a historical precedent, illustrating how trade policy can have far-reaching and sometimes unintended consequences. It's a reminder that tariffs, while designed to protect domestic industries, can also reshape markets and influence global business strategies for generations. While the policy did encourage foreign investment in American manufacturing, it also limited consumer choice. For decades, American buyers had fewer options when it came to pickup trucks, as many innovative or affordable foreign models never made it to U.S. showrooms. The chicken tax serves as a case study in the broader debate over tariffs on imported cars and parts. It highlights how such measures can protect jobs and industries in the short term, but may also lead to higher prices, reduced competition, and fewer choices for consumers in the long run. If a similar tariff were imposed today, the effects could be even more dramatic. The auto industry is more globalized than ever, and new tariffs could disrupt supply chains, threaten jobs, and drive up prices for both vehicles and parts, impacting millions of American workers and consumers. Ultimately, the legacy of the chicken tax is a cautionary tale. It shows how protectionist policies, while well-intentioned, can have complex and lasting impacts, shaping industries, influencing investment, and affecting everyday people for generations to come. The story of Toyota and Honda in America is one of deep investment, vision, and adaptation. For decades, these two Japanese automakers have not only sold cars in the United States, but have also become an integral part of the American automotive landscape, shaping the industry in ways few could have predicted. In the 1960s and 70s, their fuel-efficient, reliable cars gained popularity among American drivers, especially during times of rising fuel prices and economic uncertainty. These compact vehicles offered an alternative to the larger, less efficient American models, quickly earning a reputation for quality and value. As demand grew and faced with increasing import restrictions and trade tensions, Toyota and Honda made a bold decision. Rather than simply exporting cars, they would build them right here in America. This move marked a turning point, signaling a long-term commitment to the U.S. market and its workforce. Honda opened its first U.S. plant in Ohio in 1982, becoming the first Japanese automaker to manufacture cars in America. Toyota soon followed, establishing its own massive facility in Kentucky. These plants were more than just factories. They were symbols of a new era of collaboration and mutual growth. Today, Toyota and Honda operate over 24 manufacturing plants and research and development centers across the United States, stretching from the Midwest to the South. Their presence has transformed local economies, bringing innovation and opportunity to countless communities. These facilities are economic hubs, employing tens of thousands of American workers directly and supporting an even larger network of suppliers, logistics companies, and service providers. The ripple effect of their investment is felt in small towns and big cities alike. The cars they build, like the Toyota Camry and Honda Accord, are among the most American-made vehicles on the road today, with the majority of their parts sourced and assembled domestically. These models have become staples of American driveways and highways. The current tariff discussion is complex due to this deep integration. The supply chains for these vehicles are vast and interconnected, involving thousands of American businesses and workers at every stage of production. A Honda Accord assembled in Ohio is not just a car, it's a product of the American economy, built by American hands, using American-made components and supporting American families. The modern auto industry blurs the lines between foreign and domestic. What was once seen as an import is now a homegrown success story, reflecting decades of partnership and shared prosperity between Japan and the United States. Tariffs could have significant collateral damage on American workers and communities, threatening jobs, local economies, and the very fabric of towns that have grown alongside these factories. The story of Toyota and Honda in America is a testament to what can be achieved through cooperation, and a reminder of what's at stake. As of late 2025, tariff rhetoric has intensified. Former President Trump proposes a 10% tariff on all imports, with higher tariffs on autos. Toyota and Honda face uncertainty, responding to a threat that disrupts long-term planning. Both companies emphasize their investment in the U.S. and the American jobs they support. Behind the scenes, industry lobbyists argue against broad new tariffs. Tariffs on imported parts would raise production costs, affecting U.S.-built cars. Toyota and Honda warn of higher prices, reduced choice, and threats to American jobs. They haven't threatened to leave but highlight the potential consequences. The business environment's hostility could impact future investments. The situation remains tense, with significant implications for the auto industry. Analyzing the tariff threat economic dominoes. A major new tariff on autos and parts would trigger a chain reaction. The first affect increased car prices, affecting both imported and U.S.-built models. Higher prices lead to a drop in sales, contracting the auto market. Dealerships face lower revenues, potentially leading to closures and layoffs. The impact on American jobs would be significant, with potential job losses. Retaliation from other countries could trigger a trade war, harming American exporters. The interconnected economy means a policy intended to help one industry can hurt others. The stakes are high, with potential consequences for the entire auto ecosystem. The debate over tariffs is complex with far-reaching implications. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for informed decision-making. The political battlefield: tariffs as a weapon. Tariffs have become a powerful political tool, sparking debate over America's global role. Supporters see tariffs as a way to protect American jobs and sovereignty. Opponents argue tariffs harm consumers and risk trade wars. The issue cuts across party lines, highlighting tensions in modern politics. Expert analysis. A view from the inside. The auto industry of 2025 is a global system. Tariffs on imported parts affect all automakers, not just foreign ones. Toyota and Honda's American manufacturing ecosystem is deeply integrated. A tariff would be a direct tax on their U.S. factories, impacting competitiveness. Moving factories is unrealistic. The impact would be a slow erosion. Future investments could be frozen, affecting jobs and innovation. The policy could damage advanced manufacturing hubs owned by foreign companies. Communities dependent on these plants would suffer the most. Broad-based auto tariffs risk destroying more jobs than they create. It's a high-risk gamble with American livelihoods at stake. Conclusion: the road ahead and your role in it. The threat of tariffs creates uncertainty, risking future investment and innovation. The debate over tariffs forces us to confront the complex reality of our modern economy. Policies that ignore this reality risk triggering unintended consequences. As a consumer, voter, and citizen, you play a crucial role. Engage with elected representatives and share your thoughts. Encourage fact-based conversations about the potential impact of these policies. The road ahead is uncertain, but an informed public is the best defense. Understanding the intricate connections in the global economy is essential. Together, we can ensure a prosperous future for all Americans.